An all-time Premier League classic ends in a 4-4 draw between Manchester United and Bournemouth at Old Trafford. Amarim's side made a bright start and took a deserved lead when Ahmad pounced from point-blank range, only for Semenyo to punish a Shaw mistake with his 40th minute leveler. Another error saw Casemiro head home on the stroke of halftime after a poor attempted Petrovic save, and the chaos continued into the second period. Evan Nielsen needed just 38 seconds to level after the break, before Tavernier, who set up the Brazilians' goal, fired a free kick past the unsighted Lamens in the 52nd minute. Fernandes roared back with a delightful free kick of his own, however, and Cunha fired United ahead just 129 seconds later with his finish 11 minutes from time. There was still time for substitute Krupi to level with a smart strike 5 minutes later, though, as United's supposed dominance with 3.27 expected goals, XG, went to waste. Bournemouth accumulated just 1.86 expected goals for their 4 goals, and though they are now winless in 7 league games, they will take some confidence from this showing. Iraola's side, who climbed to 13th, next hosts strugglers Burnley in what appears to be a simpler task. United missed the chance to go level on points with 4th place Chelsea, but move up to 6th before they visit high-flying Aston Villa.
The full-time whistle blows at Selhurst Park as Manchester City brush aside Crystal Palace to win 3-0. The hosts started the game strongly and should have taken the lead in the 16th minute, but Pino saw his close-range effort strike the woodwork after being played in by Wharton. City took advantage of that miss, with Nunez's right-wing cross met by Haaland, who peeled away from Richards before burying a header into the bottom right corner. Palace struck the woodwork again early in the second half as Wharton saw his left foot attempt empty outside of the right-hand post. That proved costly as the away side doubled their lead in the 69th minute. Cherki made a driving run before teeing up Foden, whose 20-yard finish nestled into the bottom right corner. Haaland got his second from the penalty spot in the 89th minute after Henderson brought down substitute Savinho. The hosts created 16 shots with 4 on target, reflected by an expected goals of 2.08, whereas the visitors generated 7 shots with 6 on target, highlighted by an expected goals of 1.19. The result sees City remain in second place in the Premier League table, 2 points behind leaders Arsenal, whereas the Eagles remain 5th. Forest cruised to a 3-0 win against Spurs, in a game where only one side looked like coming away with all 3 points. Sangare hit the post early on, before he stole possession off Gray and setting up Hudson-Odoi to give Forest the lead. The lead was doubled early in the second half, as Hudson-Odoi's cross looped over the head of Vicario and into the back of the net. Sangare added a goal to his 2 earlier assists, when his first-time effort from range curled away from Vicario and into the far corner, courtesy of the post. Spurs failed to threaten Victor in goal today, only accumulating 0.37 expected goals across the 90 minutes. Forest ended the afternoon with an expected goals of 1.91 after 2 crackers and 1 tap-in. Forest climbs up to 16th, and just 4 points behind Spurs, who sit in 11th. Next up for Forest is a trip to London to face Fulham. Spurs welcome title holders Liverpool to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium next time out. Forest were slight underdogs before kickoff, but they proved the stats wrong and took home all 3 points in a comfortable win. After a week of positivity, it is back to square one for Frank, who will be worried about losing the support of the fans and the board.
Who's up for a second City entrant in this season's title fight then?
Full time arrives in East London, and it's now a 6th consecutive league win for Aston Villa as they come from behind to beat West Ham 3-2. On an emotive day, the hosts look to honor the legendary Billy Bonds perfectly, as Fernandez's dispossession of Konza and fine angled strike brought the quickest league goal of the season at just 29 seconds. However, Villa responded in the 9th minute as a sumptuous McGinn cross saw Watkins flick onto the head of Mavropanos for an own goal. The Hammers restored their lead in the 24th minute as Potts fired low from inside the box and Bowen helped it on its way to beat Pizat. 5 minutes into the new half, though, Villa inflicted their recovery skills on the Irons yet again as Tielemans directed a low pinpoint cross into the box from the right. Rodgers killed it brilliantly in the center before swiveling into the bottom left corner. While the 68th minute did see Bowen have a goal disallowed for offside, an unmarked Rodgers was the man to make the headlines. He doubled up from range, making the most of acres of space and firing a sweet, dipping right-footed effort over Areola and into the left side netting. Despite playing above their expected goals, 1.04, West Ham stay 18th. After emphatically rescuing a win from the jaws of parity, Villa continue in 3rd and 3 points off leaders Arsenal. It's all over at the Stadium of Light as Sunderland make a massive statement with a 1-0 win over Newcastle United in the season's first Tyne-Wear derby. A goalless first half, which had been sparse of chances, gave way to the game's only goal within 60 seconds of the restart, as Mukiele's awkward cross from the right was headed into his own net by Walter Mayday, gifting Sunderland the lead and giving Newcastle a mountain to climb for the rest of the second half. That own goal may not have contributed to Sunderland's expected goal chance value, but they still managed to produce more than their rivals with 0.29, following good chances for Isidore and Mukiele after the opener. Newcastle could only muster 0.25 expected goal chance value at the other end, as Guimaraes and Wissa forced saves from roofs, but the Black Cats' keeper was never truly tested and collects another clean sheet as a result. Victory in the first Tyne-Wear derby since 2016 sends Sunderland up to 7th in the Premier League table, while a first defeat in 5 for Newcastle leaves them 4 points back in 12th, missing the chance to claim both a top-half spot in the Premier League and the North East bragging rights which were offered up in this must-win game.
Brentford and Leeds share the spoils in a 1-1 draw at the G-Tech Community Stadium. The first half finished goalless, but was far from short on drama. Leeds emerged as the stronger side after the break, but initially couldn't find a way to break the deadlock, a failure that proved costly when Jordan Henderson marked his 600th senior appearance with a crucial goal not long after the hour mark, putting Brentford ahead against the run of play. Daniel Farke's side showed real resilience in response, though, and inspired substitutions helped haul them back into the contest. Nyanto's pinpoint cross was met by Calvert-Lewin, whose header restored parity. The English forward now has 4 Premier League goals in 4 consecutive games for Leeds, becoming just the 3rd Englishman to achieve that feat for the club in the Premier League. In the end, a draw felt fair, with Leeds finishing on an expected goals of 1.39 compared to Brentford's 0.71. The Bees move up 1 place to 14th for now, while Leeds edge a point further clear of the relegation zone and extend their unbeaten league run to 3 matches.